Okay, so in this video, we'll be taking a look at the disease of pertussis or whooping cough. Now, it also occurs in an unvaccinated child like polio, and it is characterized with cough that lasts for more than 14 days, and the cough should have at least one of the following characteristics. That is, it should occur in paroxysms, it should have a whoop, and it should have post-tussive vomiting. So a cough lasting for more than 14 days and having the feature of paroxysms or whoop or post-tussive vomiting should be considered as a case of pertussis. So there will be an absence of fever, malaise, myalgias or exanthem. There will be no rash, there will be no fever, malaise or myalgias in a child of pertussis. So these are the important features of the disease. Now, what are the clinical stages of pertussis? So there are three clinical stages, and these consist of: number one, the catarrhal stage, characterized with symptoms closely mimicking those of upper respiratory tract infections. And then there is a paroxysmal stage, that is characterized with dry, hacking, prolonged cough that is more than 14 days, and the cough will be followed by inspiratory whoop, which is a feature of the cough. And the third feature is the convalescent stage, and this stage consists of persistent cough that is lasting up to 3 months, and that is why it is called as 100 days cough. So sometimes it is the viva question that what is 100 days cough. So that is the cough of pertussis in a convalescent stage, and this is a persistent cough lasting up to 3 months after the paroxysmal stage. So catarrhal stage, paroxysmal stage and convalescent stage, these are the three stages of pertussis that you should be knowing about. So next, what are the important investigations that need to be carried out in a child of pertussis? Number one, history and examination, there will be clinical features. For example, there will be an unimmunized child with history of contact with a pertussis patient. Then we will do an CBC, which will show leukocytosis, and there will be an absolute lymphocytosis. Okay, there will be increase in number of lymphocytes and not neutrophils in this case. And when we will do a per nasal swab, and then we'll culture that on boarded Genju media, that will come positive for the organism of pertussis. So per nasal swab will be cultured on boarded Genju media, and then ESR will be severely or extremely decreased, and chest X-ray will show perihilar infiltration, atelectasis or emphysema. So history examination, CBC, per nasal swab and culture, ESR and chest X-ray. These are the important investigations in a child of pertussis. Then what are the important treatment options that you should consider in treating a child of pertussis? Number one, there should be a supportive therapy, and mainstay is the supportive therapy. There is no proper treatment for pertussis. It only consists of the supportive therapy, that will consist of hospital admission, maintain adequate hydration and nutrition, and also give oxygen therapy to the child, and there should be adequate suction of secretions. Diazepam or phenobarbital can be given in case the child presents with convulsions. Antimicrobial therapy will include macrolides, including erythromycin or azithromycin. Steroids and salbutamol is given in severe cases, and isolation of patients should be done for 5 days of therapy because it is a contagious disease again. So supportive therapy including hospital admission, maintain adequate hydration, nutrition, oxygen therapy and suction of secretions. Diazepam and phenobarbital for convulsions. Antimicrobial therapy including macrolides like erythromycin or azithromycin. Steroids and salbutamol in severe cases. Isolation of patient for 5 days of therapy. Now, what are the important complications of pertussis? These include respiratory complications including otitis media, pneumonia, atelectasis, emphysema, bronchiectasis and pneumothorax. Neurological complications including seizures and encephalopathy. Bleeding episodes can occur, for example, epistaxis, retinal and subconjunctival bleed. Inguinal hernia can also occur in these patients because of increased intra-abdominal pressure, as there is a whooping cough. Rectal prolapse can occur due to similar reasons. Malnutrition can also take place, and you can consider the DDs of bronchiolitis, cystic fibrosis, TB and asthma, because this is also a prolonged cough, a cough lasting for more than 14 days. So bronchiolitis, cystic fibrosis, TB and asthma, these are the DDs, and the complications include respiratory one, neurological, bleeding episodes, rectal prolapse, inguinal hernia and malnutrition. So these are the important treatment options, the important investigations and the important clinical features of the disease and the stages. So these were some of the important points regarding pertussis, and I hope it was helpful for you guys.